Hey friends, in this video I'm going to tell you the easiest and most effective Denmark-specific investment plan for most people, and that is updated to 2024 as well. I have built myself an investment portfolio of well over 1 million krona in stocks and funds, and this is the exact setup I use. It will be especially relevant, I believe, for those of you who want a set it and forget it approach and who want to get the most profit possible. If you're new here, my name is Mario, and on this channel I help expats in Denmark on buying a house, investing, and overall living the best life possible. My setup here for investing has two principles and also 3 key actions. We'll go through those right now. Principle number 1 is to invest every month. If you want your money to compound, you need to invest every month. And investing, again, is a long game. I have invested, for example, myself, sometimes 10 to sometimes 50% of my take-home income every single month, and have done so for years. And only now, years after, I can start seeing the big money. If you have 20,000 krona to spare, by all means, that would be a great investment, 20,000 krona per month. But for most people, my recommendation is that you just pick a number to invest each month that is reasonable to you, that will not hurt your lifestyle, that it will not be a big pain. So if it's 500 krona to start, that's okay. If it's 1,000 krona to start per month, that's fine as well. What you need to do here is to build the habit of investing, so you can frame yourself as, yes, am I an investor? And then yes, of course, you can go higher if you can. So for a lot of expats that have high paid jobs, or that you come up with a special tax setup that you pay less in taxes, 5 to 10k a month per person is not crazy. I have seen it many times, and if you can do that, that's great. That's again gonna help you compound faster. My second principle is that you should invest automatically, and I strongly recommend this. I strongly recommend that, again, money comes in and it automatically gets invested without you having to lift a finger. Because what you want specifically is that each month, the day your salary comes in, if you have a salary for most people, but if you have a self-paid business or a self-business, you also get your money coming in. You have an automatic transfer from your bank account to your investment account. And normally it takes 1 minute to set this up in something like Nordea or Danske Bank, just super easy. And then you want this money to come to your investment accounts and then to have it invested automatically. So specifically, you want the money comes into your investment account and is automatically allocated to buy the specific funds that you have specified in advance that you want to buy. For this, I recommend Nordnet for stocks, and more on that later in the video. The key thing here is that you want to invest without having to think about it. You want to have process running in the background that is independent of your mood swings or what you're thinking that day, because the moment you become too much into the nitty-gritty, you'll get stressed and sometimes you might make mistakes. My view here is that I guarantee you that if you don't do it automatically, you at least will not do it each month, so you will not invest each month, which is what we want to do, and you will just, again, spend too much time thinking about it. You also want your taxes to be done automatically, and Denmark has the most crazy, ridiculous, you could even say, even extortive taxes for investing in the world. However, it still makes sense to invest up to a point in Denmark, but if you invest through a Danish broker like Nordnet or Saxo, or even Danske Bank or Nordea, they also have some brokerage options, they will handle the taxes for you. So you don't need to do anything to scat, besides of course paying the taxes. But if you want to be on the right side of the law and at the same time invest in a foreign broker, you're gonna have a lot more trouble on following all the rules the way they're supposed to be. But that said, the moment you want to start investing, the first key action is that you should maximize something that is called the Aktiesparekonto. Because again, Denmark is the worst place in the world to be an investor. And again, I'm not selling the idea of investing too much here, but you get the point. There's one thing that you can do if you are living in Denmark and you want to invest. The first thing you do is that you open and then maximize something called the Aktiesparekonto. The Aktiesparekonto is a special investment account where you pay just 70% in capital gains versus the 27 to 42% that you normally pay in a normal investment account. The 17% tax means that if your stocks went up by 1,000 krona in a year, you'll only pay 170 krona in taxes instead of what could be 270 or 420 krona in taxes. So yeah, 420 out of 1,000 gain in taxes, ouch. So in this context, 17% is great, but the Aktiesparekonto has 3 catches. The first one is that there's a limit on how much money you can put into the Aktiesparekonto. They have raised this limit, but in 2024 it's still 135,900 krona. So if your account grows over that, it's great, but you can't deposit more than that limit, meaning that you can't have 1 million krona in your Aktiesparekonto unless you just bought something that went to the roof and then you just kept it there. The second thing about the Aktiesparekonto is that you get to pay taxes even if you don't sell your stocks, even if you don't realize your gains. So let's say you buy an Apple stock and it goes up by 1,000 krona, even if you never sold that stock, you need to pay 70% of that 1,000 krona gain at the end of the year. And that honestly, that sucks. And that's the type of taxation that is unique to Denmark, but still a better deal than alternatives. The third thing about Aktiesparekontos is that because it's such a Denmark-specific setup, it's only the Danish brokers that have this type of setup. So you can't really open an Aktiesparekonto with Revolut or DEGIRO or one of those, at least that I'm aware of. And again, you wouldn't want to do that anyway because of the taxes, but still, it's just something you can't even do it at all in those other places. For the type of stocks and funds that you buy in the Aktiesparekonto, my recommendation is that you go with the ones that have the highest potential upside. So the ones that are technically the more risky. So for example, myself, I have invested mostly of my Aktiesparekonto in tech stocks, like the funds that track Google, Facebook, Microsoft, Apple, and so on, because that have tended to perform better than the market average. And when you just pay 17% in gain and you have a limit on how much you can put, that's, in my opinion, was the best way to go. But again, with the higher risk, like also the higher potential rewards, but also the higher potential downside. Just need to be aware of that. If this is the type of things that you want to learn more about, investing in Denmark, the taxes, regulations, the best setups, and basically get a cheat sheet of what you should do in order to maximize your money, I made a free email course on investing that is going to be linked down in the video description. Check it out. And also, if you have not done so yet, subscribe to the channel. It also helps me get more videos like this onto you and more people as well. Okay, the next point is that you should use something called a Månadsuppsparing with index funds. So once you have maxed out your Aktiesparekonto, you want to have this automatic investing setup that we have just been talking about. And this is the Månadsuppsparing. This is when this thing comes into play. The Månadsuppsparing is an account that will do the auto investing we have talked about, and I made a whole video explaining the Månadsuppsparing that's going to be linked over here. But again, it used to be free to do this. There's only now a very small fee, but still it's my recommendation for most people that you do this. Again, the way it works is that the money comes into your, for example, Nordnet account. You have already pre-selected, maybe a year ahead or like long time in the past, the specific 4 funds you want or stocks that you want this money to be invested in. You put the percentages of how much you want to invest in each of these, and then Nordnet will do that all automatically. The reality is that these type of setups, when you buy indexes and do it over the long term like this, they are proven to regularly beat even the fanciest investors. So my recommendation here is that do it each month, get funds like that cover the whole market. So the top 500 US stocks, the top 1,000 worldwide stocks, and so on, and just get it done automatically. Taxes for this are complicated, more on that in the email course, but more or less what you need to know is that you'll pay 27 to 42% in gains on the stocks. And if it's a stock, you will only pay that when you sell the stocks. But if you buy funds, which is honestly what we recommend to most people, you'll pay a tax on the gain directly or indirectly each year. And I know that sucks, but again, it's still better than to have your money doing nothing in the bank account. My last point here is that you should invest in yourself, because you are your biggest asset and there's no tax on your own personal growth, at least not directly. So I recommend you and everyone watching this to set some money aside and regularly invest in yourself. And this can come in multiple ways. For example, Denmark has top quality education that is even free for EU citizens. And it's also affordable for those of you who are not EU citizens. But for example, if you are from the EU and have the opportunity to enroll in a master program and you don't have a master degree already, it's a time commitment, it's a challenge, but I mean, it could also change your career fortunes, and you could do that as well. While not academic as well, you can also get quality courses online or offline. And I have, for instance, myself done YouTubing courses, email marketing courses, leadership stuff for work that has saved me hundreds of hours and got me specific systems and things that we apply right away to basically improve my own life. And then of course, you can also spend money on gear. I'm a big believer that if you can save 20, 30 minutes a day by having a faster computer or a portable setup or whatever, if you're making yourself then a top tier investment, because time is the only thing that you don't really get back. So it's always very good to do things that will help you save time. For context, I built this spaceship desk that I have over here because it lets me do 2 to 3 videos for YouTube in an hour, and then I can spend time with my family, with my job, and all these other things I need to do. Again, just for perspective. This investment plan just scratches the surface, and if you want to hear more specifics, check this video over here where I go into further depth on all of this. Thanks for watching, and until next week.